Hello and welcome back, friends and traders. Today we are analyzing AMD Advanced Micro Devices. It's interesting chart for the week ending Jan 24th, and we are almost close to the end of the first month of 2026. And this is a very good opportunity we are seeing for medium to long term return investment kind of an approach trade setup. So let's start with looking at monthly chart. Here we see the whole wave or trend pattern on this from here to here, A to B and B to C leg. So we are in this next leg of this A to B move. So we are expecting a lot more higher prices in AMD, and let's look at what could be the possible price projections if we were to continue to make the move that we have been seeing last week on AMD. So we have been trending from April onwards or May onwards all the way up till October, and there was a pause for a couple of months during November and December, and we are pushing through the recent all-time highs of 267, and on Friday it was almost close to the all-time highs of 266, 267. So this could very well likely break very soon, maybe next week or in near term. If we were to break, let's look at the big picture and get some price projections. So if we look at this point and put a Fibonacci on these levels, let's get rid of this arrow from here and let's see what most likely price projections we can see. So in near term we could see around $320 of price on the charts, which is anywhere from 25% return from the current levels or 20 to 25% returns in next 3 to 6 months of time, or it could very well cover within few weeks if everything goes well. And let's look at other possible projections. Let's go to the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, let's look at what possible projections we can get from the weekly chart. Again, we draw the Fibonacci and let's look at the levels. So even on the short-term weekly cup projections, we are still getting around 310. So 320, 310 is kind of a given in short to medium term. But if you hang on to it for much longer time, we could see levels around 380 to 400. That's medium to long term kind of estimate on AMD. So this is what we can see on the price projections for AMD. Now let's look at why are we so bullish on the chart for AMD. What has changed? So let's start from the weekly chart. Here we can see the AMD broke out from the recent high of August 11th for 186, and it moved higher and it touched this 267 level during the month of October, and it just went sideways to pull back to some level. And if you can look at Fibonacci retracement on this, we could very well say it could be around 50% or more. Yeah, so it retraced all the way to 0.618, which is very healthy retracement, or you can say heavily towards 50% to 0.618 of this whole move from September to October. So the consolidation or the pullback is over. During the pullback, we have seen that the price was pulling back, and consistently the volume here was also tapering down. So the price was going down and the volume was going down. So we would expect in this scenario some key decision to happen. Either it can continue to go down on high volume, or it could reverse and start going higher. So week before last, on 12th Jan week, it did this bullish engulfing on the weekly setup. So this was indication that hey, the price wants to go higher, not lower. So there was a lot of tussle between buyers and sellers, and finally this bar told there was buyers who are winning this battle for between these 2 weeks. And it also came on this high volume for the week. If you look at the recent week, is 153 million on this bar for the 5th Jan, and on this weekly bar for 12th Jan we see 222 million shares traded. And in recent week or last week we saw much more higher volume of 230 million shares. So this is a telltale sign that the price is going to go much higher, and there is serious bullishness in the chart of AMD. So this is the reason we are kind of bullish on AMD from medium to long term for levels of immediate levels of 320ish, and it can very well extend to 380 to 400 levels. So this is what we are seeing on the weekly. Let's get down on daily, and let's get rid of this drawing, and let's look at the daily picture. In daily we are a little bit stretched. I will not be surprised to see some pullback coming into the chart, all the way pulling back to like 240ish. If it can hold there for some time and then start pushing higher towards 320ish, that's very likely. But let's see how it opens on Monday and next week. And if it doesn't pull back decent enough and it just does a small pullback here in this 260 region to 250 region, then we can see there is a lot higher buyer interest and price doesn't want to come down. So we can see higher levels coming into the chart much sooner than later. So this daily chart is showing you that there was a lot of low volume selling happening in this region all the way from November to January, but suddenly all of a sudden you see the spikes in this volume of 56 million, 55 million and 62 million, above average spikes of buying interest. So this is the institutional kind of a behavior where they are back and they're trying to push the stock higher. So interesting chart on daily, weekly and monthly. So people who are interested for medium to short term, 320 levels. For medium to longer term, 380 to 400 levels could very well be possible on AMD. That's all we have, and have a good week and happy trading.